Hello, hello, and welcome back to the show. Annalise Wands here. Now, today we are talking about sales, in particular, a sales conversation that protects your boundaries. And yes, this is where we need to start because I talk to so many solo entrepreneurs and people with small teams, even sometimes people with large teams, and they all tell me the same thing. The client wants them. The problem then is that the owner, the CEO, is the bottleneck because they have trained their clients to deal with them, which means that anything less than them feels like second best. We can reverse this. We can actually make it so that your team are the celebrities in your organization. And it all starts with the sales conversation. So let's dive in. Number one, we need to talk about the North Star. This is the filter for all of our decisions. That is 5 decisions, the 5 points of the star that you need to make, and you are going to filter every single decision through. Number one is how much you want to work. Now, if this is like 2 hours a week and you want to have 20 clients, sorry, it can't be you all the time. So, this is how we decide exactly how involved in the business you're going to be and in what capacity. So, how many hours do you want to work? How much do you want to earn and be paid for your time and your responsibility of running and owning your business? What problem do you want to solve? What niche do you want to solve that in? Who do you want to work with? And what is the offer that encapsulates all of those other 4 things that is the thing your team is going to get paid for? 5 decisions. How much do you want to earn? How much do you want to work? What is the problem? What is the niche? What is the offer? Once you know that, it makes every other decision easier because either your decisions are taking you closer to that or further away from that. Now, for example, I used to have the goal that I wanted to work 15 hours a week and I wanted to be personally paid for that $100,000 a year. And I wanted to solve a marketing problem. The problem I wanted to solve is that really intelligent, incredible women were having problems with actually getting their voice out there. I wanted to help them to be the conduit to lift them up in the marketplace. The people I wanted to work with, like I mentioned, were these women, these incredible, intelligent, clever, like super powerhouse women. And the offer was that we offered full service marketing, we offered operational services, we offered the CRM, everything. So basically, we were their marketing team. Their virtual marketing team is what we were in this example I'm talking about. And so every decision then had to be made through that. And if I wanted to earn $100,000 a year, at the time we were getting around about $1,000 to $2,000 per client, which means for this example, I needed to have more than 10 clients and more than 10 clients to offer all of those services and only work 15 hours a week. That was not going to happen without a team. And so this is how we decide who we hire, who we don't, how often we're going to be in it, and how often we're not. And so in these sales conversations, I was in the sales conversation selling my team, selling how incredible our account managers were, that they were going to use our whole back end marketing team, that they would only have to ever talk to this one person who would understand their business, would connect with them every week, and that account manager would then speak to the rock stars on our team and the ads person and the copywriter and the graphic designer and all of that. And they would get all of those services through one point of contact for their retainer fee. And that is what the sales conversation was about. It was me championing my team. And the clients knew that, of course, they could always CC me in on things, but their primary point of contact was this rock star account manager on my team. I sold my account manager and their incredible skills. So the client is like, oh my gosh, wrapped and cannot wait to meet this angel in our company. And that's what she was called. So many of our clients would say, oh my gosh, this person is such an angel. She transformed X into Y. She connected this. She did this. She followed up with this problem. She solved this thing. And it all starts with the sales conversation. So if you're experiencing this problem where the clients just want you, I'm sorry, and I'll hold your hand as I say this, but you trained them to want you. And when you meet people, yeah, they want you because you've sold you. And when we're thinking bigger, when we're thinking freedom first business, we are not the product anymore. Our company is the product. Our team are the product. The outcomes are the product. That's what we're selling. We're selling the outcomes. We're selling the whole company. And we are just one piece of that. And we're not the most important piece. And if we don't have rock stars on our team that are going to take the place, then, and it is you for now, come up with a strategy that allows you to sell the business and the outcomes and not sell your skills. You're not going for a job interview. It's not, yes, I will, I will, I will. It's we can, we will, especially if the vision for your company is more than just you. It's important that you delineate between yourself and your skills over here and your company, your business, and the outcomes that you're selling over here. Now, no matter how you do that, whether you refer to yourself as I or we, or, and I would really recommend that you start saying we, especially as the vision for your business grows and you know that it won't just be you. So, what this all comes down to really is managing expectations. Just like any relationship, communication is very important. And how we do this starts, like I said, in the very first conversation that you have. So, let's quickly talk about what that conversation actually looks like. Initially, first things first is we want to look at what people are actually signing up for. Are they signing up to have a conversation with you as a consultation? Is it a purely very overt sales conversation? Is it a discovery call? Is it an exploratory chat? What is it? And how are you already pre-framing what this is and who they're working with and who you are and what it is that you're actually selling? So really look at the language there. Does it look like you're a solopreneur? Are you selling your hours? And if you're selling your hours, I really invite you to re-look at that and think bigger. And no matter what industry you are in, I promise you that you can be outside of the norm. So if you're a virtual assistant or a graphic designer, and you think that the normal way that people do business is by hiring someone per hour, I know that you can go in there and invite them to think about things in a different way and offer them a package-based pricing, and that you can present that in a way that is more desirable, more appealing, shall I say, than the hourly rate. I know as a business owner that I always would prefer to pay for a service, to pay for a package. So I know what I'm paying for. I would rather know, okay, you're going to do my website and I'm going to pay you $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the amount is, rather than engage with someone and say, okay, you're going to do my website and I'm going to pay you $100 an hour. Because I don't know if that website's going to cost me $500 or $5,000 or $50,000, because we haven't made an agreement. And as a business owner, I would like to be able to plan and know what that means. And the same is true for your company. They want to know what they're getting. And I promise you there is a way to present that in a way that is more appealing than the hourly rate, no matter your industry. I've worked with people on this for 9 years. And I'm yet to find a scenario where this conversation cannot be had. So if that's you, if you're a virtual assistant and you think this is what my industry does, just question that. Just get a little curious about actually what barrier you're putting in place there, and know that you're people dealing with people, and you can move outside of the norm. So, for example, once no, quite a few years ago now, I was looking for another client. I looked on seek.com, I applied for a job, and when I applied for the job, I sold them a package which was me and my team working on a retainer in place of the role of this job. And guess what? I got the client. Literally, it was through a recruiter. I had to go in for an interview, but I really needed clients and I didn't know how else to get it. I really wanted to work for this company. And so I played their game. And even them, even a company with like this was a $20 million a year company at the time. They had employees. They were not hiring freelancers. They did not see that as an option. They hired me. And the kicker at the whole time was I was pregnant. And so in the interview, I went in very clearly pregnant. And I still got the client and I worked with them for 2 years. And so think outside the square. Please do not think, oh, this is how it's done. Yeah, that's how it was done. But value is value. And if you can communicate that value and you have that and you know what they need and you can show them and guide them and be the expert in that field, you can do it so that you are not just selling yourself and your hours and your time as the option. I promise you it is possible. If you cannot think of a way where you can work around this in your situation, send me a DM, let's voice message, talk it out on Instagram. I promise you we will find a way. All right, so the sales conversation. Once you've got your website or whatever it is, that vehicle that they're getting to you set up in a way that doesn't present you as just you, then they're going to come into the conversation a bit more broad-minded about what it is that they're coming into. And the first thing you're going to do is verbally establish the goal of the call. Ultimately, your role is to guide them to a decision. So you will say that to some effect, right? Now, I'm not going to give you the exact words for this because we're all so different. We all have different approaches. We all have very different businesses, but you will establish the goal of the call ideally right up front because you are leading. You are the alpha in this situation. They are coming to you for expert guidance. So you're the guide. You're not relying on them. You're guiding the process step by step, holding them hand, walking them through the process. Now, after you've established the goal, you're asking questions. Just like a doctor in a doctor's office, you are going to be asking the questions. They are going to be doing the majority of the talking. You want them doing at least 80% of the talking, or we haven't done our job well. The person who talks the most is not the one guiding. Okay? And we want to be the guide. At the peak of this call is going to be you diagnosing like a doctor. And once you do that, you can then move to the part of the conversation where you're talking about your services. How this can often work is that you would say, it sounds like XYZ. Would you like to hear how we work with clients on this? And that way you're asking their permission to talk about your program. And they're going to say, yes, I want to know, or no, I'm not interested, right? And they're going to either opt in or out there. You will talk to them about what you do, you will give them the price, and then silence. No matter how uncomfortable it feels, silence. Do not talk. They will say something. They will say, oh, that's cheaper than I thought. Or, okay, I understand. That sounds reasonable. Or, hang, I have enough to speak to my partner. Or, that's out of my budget. Whatever they say, you can then respond to. And that's the rest of the call. It's you seeing what information they need in order to make a decision, yes or no. Now, going into this conversation, you're going to have thought about in advance what their questions are going to be, what their objections might be. Yes, time, money, need to ask my spouse, need to ask my business partner. Those are going to be the main ones. ChatGPT is going to be your friend here for your industry, for your product, for your service, about all of the things that they might ask about. And you're going to be able to respond again with we. You're going to respond in a way that doesn't make you lean into people pleasing, that doesn't give them all the power, that doesn't, oh, yes, I can discount, or we can start whenever you'd like, or how would you like, what else would you like to include, or yes, I'll start tomorrow. Like none of that people pleasing, giving away your power. You're going to know in advance where your boundaries are. We can start on X date. My team and I will discuss. I will send you the form to fill out. All of those things. You are guiding this process. And so it's really helpful to map out in full your sales and onboarding process, have all of those questions and your responses mapped out in advance, all linked back to your North Star and the value and the outcome that you know that you can bring to them, because that's what ultimately they care about. But you do need to plan it in advance. And that North Star is the thing that you can hold on to, like stick it on a post-it and pop it above your screen if you need to, so that we don't default to the people pleasing, so that we don't default to the, yes, you can, oh my gosh, I want this client so badly, so I'll do anything, and yes, I'll discount, and yes, I'll give you the moon and the stars and the, no, North Star. This is what I can offer. This is how we can assist you. This is what the team can do and will do to get you where you want to go. And that is how we have a sales conversation that protects our boundaries and sets up the expectations in advance that is good for everyone. It is good for the client because they know exactly what they're getting. It's good for you because you've set the boundary, and it's great for your team because they know what good looks like, they know what to expect, and they know what you're selling and what's expected of them as well. Managing expectations all around means win-win-win in business, and that's what we love, right? Okay, let me know what questions you have about this episode. We don't often get that nitty-gritty with sales here, so I'm excited to hear what you think. That's it for now. I'll see you on the next one.